Dr. Sohn joined the Department of Metallurgical Engineering at the University of Utah in 1974 and currently holds the rank of Professor of Metallurgical Engineering and Adjunct Professor of Chemical and Fuels Engineering. Dr. Sohn's work has been recognized through numerous awards, which include the 2001 James Douglas Gold Medal Award for Leadership and Outstanding Contributions in Metallurgy Research and Education. He's also an internationally recognized lecturer and author.
This project is to develop a new novel iron-making process with significant reduction in energy consumption and carbon dioxide generation, as I said earlier. And the technology is based on hydrogen. However, the process does not depend entirely on hydrogen. It could run on natural gas, again with a substantial reduction in energy, as well as carbon dioxide emission. The process could even run on coal. Coal has a lot of hydrogen, so if we use coal, we can still reduce carbon dioxide emission substantially. In terms of the carbon dioxide emissions in the U.S., this is the U.S. From various sectors, the total amount is about 6 billion tons from various sectors. Now, in terms of CO2 emission from the U.S. steel industry, total is about 126 million metric tons. That's about 2% of the total carbon dioxide emission from various sectors. So in terms of the percentage, it's a rather small percentage, and but as I said, everybody must be concerned with carbon dioxide emission, and even with a 2%, just 2% emission, I'm glad that steel industry is not only concerned with the carbon dioxide problem, but actually putting in their resources and most importantly, funds, research funds to develop new technologies that will contribute toward solving these carbon dioxide problems. As I mentioned, the technology is not solely dependent on the availability of inexpensive hydrogen. We can use less carbon-intensive fuels, such as natural gas, and as I said, even coal. So the proposed process concept is carrying out the reduction of these fine iron ore particles in suspension with hydrogen as the reducing gas. Hydrogen, although as I mentioned, there are a number of at least 3 different fuels as well as reducing agents that we could think of. Hydrogen would be the cleanest and best fuel and as well as reducing agent. In iron making, fuel and reducing agent, they go hand in hand. The same thing is used for both purposes. The fact that the particles can react, can be reduced within a very short time. I show you that within 3 to 4 or 5 seconds of reaction time, we can reach 95, near 100% reduction. And this new process must be, the reaction must, we must take advantage of the rapid reaction of very, very fine particles in order to be competitive with blast furnaces, because we have to produce iron in large quantities. You see around you everywhere there are materials containing iron, so we need to produce this at very high intensity process. So the major benefits of this new technology when it's fully developed would be to eliminate large energy consumption and pollution problems associated with making coke. You cannot charge coal directly into blast furnace because at high temperature, coal becomes pasty, like dough, flour dough, and it'll plug up all the passage of the gases that must happen. So you have to make turn coal into a hard, very hard but porous coal, chunks of coke to support the burden as well as allow gases to flow through. And then again, either eliminate or greatly reduce carbon dioxide emission and also save energy and maintain high reactivity by not having to pelletize these fine ores. If we use hydrogen, we produce almost no carbon dioxide, just a little bit from limestone that we need to use to produce slag and flux. Now, as I mentioned, the new process could work with methane or natural gas, and the carbon dioxide production will be reduced by about 60%. And even if we use coal, I mentioned that coal contains substantial amount of hydrogen. So even if we use coal directly without making coke, then we take advantage, we utilize the hydrogen content in the coal, and we can still reduce the carbon dioxide emission by about 30%. So there is a substantial, regardless of which fuel / reducing agent we use, there will be dramatic, of course, if we use hydrogen, there will be dramatic decrease, and even if we use coal, there will be substantial reduction in carbon dioxide generation from iron making.
The other two really promising technologies we have underway, one is called molten oxide electrolysis. That project's at MIT, and that basically uses electricity to separate iron and oxygen. And so you get two byproducts when you make iron that way. You get molten iron and you get oxygen. You don't get CO2. That technology has a real chance of being successful, especially as our electricity grid in the U.S. gets greener. Sequestration field, using technologies to capture CO2 and sequester, bond with the CO2 into some other useful product. And the Missouri University of Science and Technology just published a report in the last Iron and Steel Technology magazine about how successful that's been, to where they can use steelmaking byproducts called slags, for those of you that are familiar with the process, as a means of capturing and retaining CO2, which can then be used in roadbeds and to make these big blocks that you see to make piers. Mm-hmm. And that's a technology we're hoping to test in the next 5 years. So that one's on a little shorter time scale.
Well, we thank you again for taking some time to be with us on this crummy day outside, and appreciate your questions, and we're happy to follow up any other information you might need. Thank you.